Hey guys, welcome back to Joe and
Chris Gaming.
and today, again, this third video. It's the We the People event. It's in part of Royale. So let's get into it. Christopher's already in it, so I'm gonna be getting in it.
Why do they work so hard to suppress the black vote?
Alright guys.
Because they understand the power of the vote. And so it's time that black people collectively also understand the power of their vote.
Alright guys.
And not just on a national level, because a lot of times we only have this conversation every 4 years. People need to be very much involved in their local politics. They need to understand who their elected officials are, where they stand on issues that affect you. And you need to use your vote to either support the ones that care about you and your condition, or to elect people.
And if you guys aren't going to be able to see the event, though,
Is
here's the event.
educating felons, right? So in the state of Texas, if you're a felon, right, if you've been to jail or to prison, but you're no longer on probation or parole, you have the right to register to vote. Another thing that was just brought to my attention is an initiative called Orange, which is happening not just in Houston, but all over the country. If you're in jail currently, during pre-trial, but you have not been convicted, like you're still in jail waiting for your day in court, you are still eligible to vote.
And you said something so key. They work so hard to hope that we stay uninformed, but more importantly, to suppress the black vote. If you could do one thing with this message that we're trying to send today about how important voting is, what type of images would you like our people to understand and see when they go to these polls and vote, or when they cast their ballots?
I think the images that we've all seen, I'm saying, for decades in this country, if not centuries in this country, we've seen black people oppressed, we've seen black people attacked. So every time you look back and you see those old black and white images of people of color being attacked by dogs and people of color being sprayed with hoses, that's what they were fighting for. Back then, they were just fighting for a chance to vote. People like Martin Luther King Jr., people like Malcolm X, these people died to help us be in a position to have the power that we have now, which is to be able to cast a vote and make a decision about the people that have control over our lives. So, I mean, if you in your own community need a reason to vote, look at a person like George Floyd. If the people in your city are not open to police reform, are not open to having a conversation about defunding the police, are not open to issues concerning economic equality, judicial equality, and racial equality, right? If they're scared to say Black Lives Matter, you have the power to put people in those positions who do believe that Black Lives Matter, who do believe in racial equality, economic equality, judicial equality, right? Who see us as human beings. And if the people in your community don't feel that way, vote them out. It's that simple. Just vote them out. We don't have enough time to sit around and hope that people change their minds.
Yeah, but you point out something so important. We have the power, and that is in our vote, and that is with our voice, and that's how we use our vote.
I think of where we are right now. You said this is a particular moment, but it is a movement, not just a moment. It is a movement. Why, in your opinion, was it George Floyd's death? Why was that the chosen mentality for people to say, "Oh my God, black people are so oppressed in this country," and it is not?
I think it's twofold, Carrie. So many different encounters between people of color and the police. There simply is no proof of what happened in the interaction. And so what happens is, in a court of law, it tends to lean towards the policeman's point of view, right? In this case, we saw very clearly what happened. I think the other thing is due to the fact that everyone was at home, basically, during this time period in relation to the coronavirus. You couldn't avoid it. Right? It was on every television station. It was on every social media platform. Everywhere you turn, you were constantly hit upside the head with this message. You see it in interaction as man, it did nothing to deserve what happened.
That's so well said, because if you think about it, over the grand scheme of things, it wasn't worth it. He didn't have to lose his life. I think that he brought up, he touched on something that a lot of people talk about. That is now becoming the police. That has been
Alright guys, so this is the whole time basically talking. Chris, where you go? Come on. You guys wanna see these trees? Because I wanna hurt these now.
They tend to think of, they're going to take away our police department. Nothing could be further from the point. Defunding the police means that in certain communities, even Houston, take for example, we had over $1 billion allocated to our police force. Now, what is that money being used for? Some of that money tends to be allocated towards riot shield, right? Pepper spray, right? That kind of thing. That's only used against the people that fund this budget, right? So why would the people want to supply the police with the means to oppress them? If the police are concerned about the situation in certain communities with a higher crime rate, well, higher crime rates tend to happen in communities where there's not there's not employment opportunities, right? There's not a lot of social services, and people are going to do what they need to do to take care of themselves and their families. When the community has more opportunities for employment, more opportunities for upward mobility, then they tend to be a less of a strain on the government. They tend to have a lower crime rate, and because of that, we'll have less need for the police in those communities.
You are passionate about so many different things in terms of making sure that we are holding our leaders accountable. Talk to me about some of the other projects that you're on.
Well, right now, obviously, being a part of More Than a Vote is essential. We're dealing with primaries in this country right now, and we just want to educate people. We want to inform people because people are tired, they're angry, they're concerned, and they want information and they want action. And so we want to make sure that we give them the right information and lead them in the right direction. And we thank the people that do not look like us for standing with us right now, because it's very important that people who aren't black be involved, because if black people could have gotten rid of racism, we would have done it hundreds of years ago. And so I'm trying to use my voice and my platform just to let people know that if they feel like I do, there's a number of places they can go to enact change in their community. People need to know about how the city council runs. They need to know that they have the ability to speak when city council meets, to let them know that that's not the way that they feel their city needs to be run. Those are not the places that they feel the money in their community needs to be allocated.
And but even
You know you can change your skin.
They can run for office in their local community. They can run for positions. Like, people act like they leave it up to somebody else. If you're upset, it's not hard to get on the school board. It's not hard to be a part of the city council. It really isn't. And depending on how small your town is, you can be a mayor. It's the power is with the people, and we need to just know that that's happening.
Absolutely, and it's always been with the people. You know, if you look at Trayvon Martin's mother, Sabrina Fulton, right? She felt that there was a system of racism and a system of oppression.
Another skin that I could use. Maybe Jules. Rocks.
Position, became senator, ran for another elected position and became president of the United States. So don't think that you can't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of power. Your voice is enough to make a difference.
Amen. I feel like I need to go out and run for something. You gave me a rousing speech there, sir. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. When I talk to my brothers, I have to ask you, as a black man, how are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I have a very strong relationship with God, so prayer definitely works for me. I have children and grandchildren who are watching me, who are encouraged by what I do, and they're proud of me right now, you know, and that's really what matters, you know. The change starts at home, you know, so as long as you have a support system that believes in what you're doing and supports you in what you're doing, you have everything you need to go out there and fight this fight. And for those that don't, there's a community of people here to help them. So you can go to places like morethanavote.org. There are many different places that will encourage you, inform you, and they will put you with groups of people that feel like you, that are ready to take action. So no one has to go about this alone if they want to do it.
We're stronger together. People have been saying it, but that has much more meaning now that we are in our movement, not just this moment. Bobby, it has been an education, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Keep fighting the good fight.
Keep up the good fight.
All right, now there's something like this.
Someone else.
I think it's like.
Yeah,
So our next guest, I have to admit, I'm a fan, but there are so many different people that we could talk to, and I thought it was so imperative that we speak with her. You know her as Molly on the huge, successful show Insecure, HBO's Insecure. She also has a comedy special highlighting her Nigerian roots, and she's an amazing podcaster. Let's welcome Annie Bond, or G everyone. You have such a beautiful way of making things funny, giving us our medicine with some candy, right? The humor and the healing. You bring all of that to your space. And right now, as you look across this country and how everyone is so broken and so upset, if it's not social injustice, it's the pandemic, it's depression, it's unemployment, the list goes on and on. How are you doing, quite frankly?
Guys, there's like 4
You know,
videos.
I'm recovering from in a way that that is hard but necessary. That will lead to ultimate joy. I know it sounds like a lot, but no, I think I personally think that God put all of us on a global timeout. Like America hasn't done as good as other people when it comes to timeouts because everyone else is out playing at recess, and we're looking for the principal's office, hoping and wishing you can come out. But I think that if we settle into the timeout and really learn the lesson that we're supposed to learn from this season, I think we'll emerge better. We'll learn how to play well with others in more ways than one. And so personally for me, I'm taking this time to learn me in a new way. I feel like I'm being successfully seasoned and I'm getting skilled. Because sometimes the busy confounds the work that we're supposed to actually be doing. We're busy doing other stuff. We got work that we need to do on the inside, and I'm leaning into it. I'm like, dang, I thought I was gonna be able to rest like everybody else. And these guys like, now we got work to do.
You know what? And I think that's what everybody is saying about 2020. It's demanding that we be better. And you said it's a global timeout. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's like everyone sit down, be humble, to quote the great prophet Kendrick Lamar. But no, seriously, sit down and let's reevaluate some things. Let us unearth and shake up the things that we have been trying to hide within ourselves, within our nation. I think America is going through an unraveling right now, a much needed, a much necessary one, and I think all eyes on us, right? There is no, I was on the subway for an hour so I didn't miss that thing that happened. No, everybody was home. Everybody, was watching when George Floyd died, and everybody, no one could hide. Everyone was watching when Amy Cooper called the cops. This is a time where it's like, oh, we can't expand it away. We can't excuse it. No. It's a global timeout. Sit down, watch, and let's learn. And globally, it's like, hey,
How do you
we were
get back
growing
up?
business as usual, but it ain't usual no more. Like that's old. Anytime change occurs, it's very uncomfortable. And so right now we're sitting with we're getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
The minorities, we've been comfortable with being uncomfortable because that's
Alright guys, sorry. I know you're here for the event, but I'm just trying to do something.
and that's a lonely road. When you look at, and when you talk about this global timeout, everybody had to pay attention to Amy Cooper. Everyone had to pay attention to George Floyd. How is that helping us as a people, as a country, during our global timeout?
I think, well, one, we're not minorities. Carrie, you already know it. It's like these labels that they put on us. It's like the same way of saying like black on black violence. Also, there's no white on white violence. It's branding.
Yeah,
right. It's all branding.
You're right.
It's like white people get white people every single day. So no, there is no black on black violence. And if you say black on black violence, well, then let's brand white on white violence. Like I watched Investigation Discovery. So, and I just even but to answer your question, what does that do? I think what everyone expected is what has happened in the past when the world was still open, right? In that, okay, you had everyone, from Trayvon Martin to Cat Studio to Sandra Bland, you had all of these lives lost. And black people made some noise. We rioted, we got out on the streets, we started the Black Lives Matter movement, all of those things. And then white people kind of just like, oh, let's give them something. And then it's just like, is it over?
Oh.
It's like Oscars so black. Okay, good. We get some Oscars. Are we good now? Like, are we even? And it's just like, oh no. This is not about like a Band-Aid. It's like, we might have to amputate the leg a little bit. But it's all right because by amputating the leg, we're gonna save the life. And so I think that's what's happening now. Like America is realizing, like, oh, black people aren't just making a little bit of noise. Like the protests are still out. The conversations are still being had. The change is still being demanded. And I think they're seeing, oh, this is not going away. And no, it's not, because we need systematic change.
What a beautiful way to explore what is happening and describe our country. We might have to amputate the leg, but that's to save the body. That's what's happening right now. That's beautiful. And to that end, I have to ask you this, because the way that we do that, we use our voice. And our voice right now
no, I don't want to leave. Oh, no, I want to do this shit. Guys, sorry. Okay, I promise I won't do that. I'll do it after. Alright, boys. Alright, boys. Oh, now there's a Mary Marauder.
To bring charges against police if police brutality is an issue in your community. You care about your school district. You can run for the school board. I ask this
kid is AFK.
from Nigeria. You are Nigerian. You talk about very lovingly. What does voting mean for you?
You know, I think voting is power. I remember, I became a naturalized citizen back in the 90s when we got my mom naturalized, and so we were able
Alright,
and
here is the
that power.
and you guys like just listening to this stuff now, right? This is Friend Chris was like,
It's a big deal. It's a big deal because not only do we have the opportunity to be in the country, but now we can be of the country. We can be of the systems. We can be of the rules. We can be of what it actually affords. But I think going back to your earlier comment about the setup of,
Dang it.
I think we are done a disservice either it's school or whatever it is. And I'm not playing teachers. I'm glad that teachers do a phenomenal job, but for some reason we do not. And give them all the reviews. I know too many parents feel like this child of mine. I do love them, but hey, where can I drop them off? And I do think that there is a disservice done because, again, when we talk about this, to your point, we talk about every 4 years. It's important to vote for the presidency. We don't realize, like, oh, snap, we actually can vote about, like, how much our libraries get. It's like small things like that, but they make a big difference.
When you think of voter suppression in this country, what does it look like for you?
It's the system. When we talk about voter suppression, we also talk about systematic racism, right? It's all the systems that set up. And we've normalized, okay, maybe your job will give you a half day, or maybe, you'll be able to get this luxury. It shouldn't be a luxury. It should be built into the system. It should be built into the fabric of how we vote. But maybe you'll be able to get this luxury in order to enable you to go vote. Think about everything disenfranchised, marginalized. Black person has to endure it. So in a day, you need to get to work. If something happens to your car, if something happens to your child care, if something happens there's so many factors along the way that can send you into a tailspin as an American, and then you add on as a person of color. If you're just trying to get the vote, and you already have to go through all of these hurdles in your everyday life, imagine the one day when your voice really is supposed to matter the most in this country, but then you also see all the times that you tried to have your voice matter, and then it's been shut down, repressed, told it doesn't matter, and then you're kind of like, what's the point?
How do we keep hope though? If I'm watching this right now, how do we as a people stay hopeful? How do we believe in the promise that these quote unquote forefathers have given us?
Because have you met black people? By default, like hope is infused in our DNA. Like you said, like if we haven't been broken now through slavery, through capitalism, give it to me, colonization.
You really don't need to move around. All you need to do is watch.
That is a written law. And look at us now. We are home. We are black girl magic. We are black girl joy. What I think about in terms of giving us hope, we're making a lot of people. We're making a lot of people. They're like, man, we put all these obstacles in your way, and these jokers are resilient. But that should give us hope. That should give us hope that, like, we can't stop, we stop. I mean, I went to the school and you know what I'm saying, had attack. And I think that's our mind. We can't stop.
stop voting.
You're just watching mine because it's
We can't stop marching and we can't stop marching.
Guys,
We can't stop thriving and we
we're not trying to speak loud, so if you guys that aren't at the event could just, not be so loud.
What is
Not enough. Pay attention.
I feel like back in the day, we had an idea. Yes, it is marching. Yes, it is protesting. Yes, it is speaking out against things that we feel are not right or unjust. But talk to me about what activism looks like for you. Activism, I think the beauty of activism is that it has a space. You're going to have good people on the front line. Like, you know what? Martin Luther King marched, but there were a lot of women who were in the homes like, hey, Lucy does, when they come back, and this is how we support all the people who are marching on the front lines. And we're going to be here doing what we know to do best here. And you know what? Somebody needs to bail them out of jail so that we need to be in the community, y'all, getting money or whatever it is. So like everybody has a position to play. And so play your position like a shortstop, right? So whoever you are and whatever you do, play your position. So,
You know that I'm a YouTuber?
you know what?
You know I'm a YouTuber?
I'm not the one that's built to be on the
You know
front
I'm a
line. You know
YouTuber?
what?
Comment on my video,
So I
alright?
support the people on the front line. You know, I'm a comedian. Black George, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Look at me. I'm all the way up there.
Thinking that it's mandatory, like you said, everyone can be an activist and be activated in different ways. But talk to me about the connection. Talk to me about the marginalization in your world and how you feel like it even inspires you to say more and use your platform to do more.
Beneath the surface of what we do, like Nash said, it's the who, right? The who is the person who's going to be like, hey, let me call this out. Either blind racism, in terms of overt racism, in terms of ways that we can be better, in terms of ways that we can actually be more uplifting to the community that you may not even realize that you're serving. Before I let you go,
Talk to me about the urgency, in your opinion, for people to vote, our people to get out and vote this coming election.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I missed.
guys, if you think you're tired now, I'm telling you right now, we cannot take this sitting down. We can't take this jokingly. I understand that it may be hard to figure out who to vote for.
But at the end of the day,
we gotta vote for our families. We gotta vote for our legacy. We gotta vote for continued progress. We have to vote for upward mobility. We have to vote for equality in a way that is long
Chris, how you getting all the way up there?
and if we succeeded before,
see
we can do it again. Talk about the whole. This is the time. This is not the time to
That's Chris
to give
up
up.
there.
This is not the time to pretend a way that we haven't made progress. We have. There's still much more to be done. And you know what? We might have to get to the point where we pass the baton to our children and our children's children.
You go to
But we
the
still
zip
have work
line
to
and
do
then
now
you
for that
jump.
generation.
You are Orgy.
Yeah.
You are everything. You are Molly, but you are not Molly. But I love you so much as Molly on HBO's
When someone's coming at you,
are
just
an
jump.
amazing podcaster, Jesus and Jola.
People trying to come at
And then we also have movies. Like you, the world. You're a model. Also, wait, don't let me forget your hugely successful stand-up comedy special on HBO. Girl, you're doing it all, and I am so grateful. You are truly the dream, not just the American dream. You're the black girl, brown girl, do it all.
And now go to me. There's another side. There's another side.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Honestly, you want to go to me?
Oh, Yvonne Orgy, ladies and gentlemen, nothing but the best and excellence personified. Thank you so much.
Hey, you guys want to
I love you
see?
so much, Mama. Mwah.
Alright, well, that was the second guess.
Yeah, la.
So Atlanta has been one of the hotbeds in terms of political unrest and social injustice. We've seen so much happen in that city, and we've also seen so much come from that city, including one of our very own founding fathers of the civil rights movement, and that's Martin Luther King Jr. But right now, we want to welcome in someone who has used his platform to talk about voting, to talk about racial injustice, and how he's trying to help. Atlanta's very own Russ joins us now. Russ, I'm not going to fan out and tell you what some of my favorite songs were that I listened to repeat on yours. We're going to get to the topic at hand. So we got to talk about recently you did an interview where you shared your outlook on culture and music, and you also were very candid about the fact that you have a privilege and that it's necessary for you to give back. Tell everybody about what that means.
It's very obvious I'm white and I'm in black culture and I'm benefiting financially off of it. So I feel like if you're a white person financially benefiting off of black culture, you have to put finances back into black culture. Just that simple. Screenshots with your feelings. It just comes off like fake empathy because it comes off very dismissive and very oh, that sucks for y'all. But anyway, back to what I was doing.
Have you felt that way always, or is it now because of the time of where we are in this country?
I've always had the feeling. I think now it's just obviously elevated. It's a new level, and there's new. It's to the point now where you can't. First of all, you can't not say anything. Second of all, though, I just think saying something isn't enough anymore. I think if you have the ability to put money back into a culture that you're financially benefiting from, you have the ability to, you should.
It's interesting that you talk about it in that way because some people do believe that silence is the best way to go because it's hard to talk race, especially if you're white and you're in the black culture. People just feel as if they can't talk about it. They feel awkward. They feel as if they don't have the privilege or the voice or the words. How do you find yourself right now in terms of interacting with people when they want to talk to you about social injustice, police brutality, what's going on in this country right now?
Well, first of all, picking and choosing whether you want to be silent or not about race,
that's a privilege in of itself.
But look, I'm all the way up
I try
here.
to just do my best.
I'm up here.
Listen to the black people around me and the educated black people I have in my life. So I do my best to not act like I have all the answers for everything, especially in a culture that I'm not from. But that's why when we decided to raise the money for Black Lives Matter organization, when we raised 500,000, we got on the phone with some of the women who started Black Lives Matter. I got on the phone with Tamika and Ali. I was on the phone with Karen Civil and talking with my friends to make sure the money went to the correct places, and people who really need it. It's just about listening. That's all. It's about listening.
Let's talk about that for a moment because the way I think of activism for me,
Back on for a sec, alright guys.
not necessarily just
Where is it? Where is?
But what about
Sorry guys.
being an activist in the way in which you have decided to be one?
Alright.
What did it look like? You said you raised money for Black Lives Matter.
Alright.
What did you do? Walk us through
Party moving.
find yourself in this moment right now.
So for me, I know it was 3 years ago. I had a string of festivals, and I decided that I was going to wear T-shirts with a message on them because I figured, what better time to use a platform than in front of a bunch of people. So one of the T-shirts I wore was, if you want to change the system, speak up, white silence, pro-racism, whole thing. And it didn't really it kind of got swept under the rug back then. But when all this stuff started happening again, and it's been happening, police brutality against innocent black people. I was like, man, I'm not the biggest artist in the world, and I certainly don't have the most white fans in the world, but I got a good amount of people that I can definitely mobilize and turn into some money, and I know they're down for the cause, which is a good thing. And I've always been outspoken anyway, and so how am I going to be in black culture? How am I going to be about racism?
Especially with this platform today, and saying that we must use our voice to talk to
Do it?
7 out of 8.
No.
voting for you in this upcoming election.
Alright.
Yeah, so full transparency, I had never voted before, ever. And because I was one of those people who was just like, my vote doesn't matter, and and I don't know, maybe because I was younger, maybe because I didn't think about it.
I did think that it got to,
Chris, what are you doing? That's you, right? Yeah, because you're
because obviously it's been past the breaking point for black people. I think that as a whole, the young people need to get out and vote because we're the ones that never show up. You know what I mean? We never show up to vote. But, we're the future. So it's like, look, we gotta go out there and vote. And then whatever happens, happens, but at least we did our part. You gotta do your part.
You're very candid in saying that you just decided to vote, and I think there's a beautiful irony in the fact that you have your fans saying, because of you, I'm voting.
Right.
And there's something beautiful about that. But I want to know why now.
See, this is like 30 minutes funny. I think this might take an hour, guys.
What hit your spirit to say, yes, this is the time to do it?
Honestly, because I think that George Floyd really woke up a lot of people who, including myself. I was vocal when I was spoken about racism. I put it in my lyrics, I put it on t-shirts, I would talk about it in interviews. I was vocal about it. But that video in that moment, I think me along with a lot of other people just kind of was like, all right, like words are simply not enough anymore. We gotta do something, whether it's raising money, whether it's voting, or all these other.
Alright, we gotta do another time lapse then. Sorry guys.
I'm ashamed that it took that for me to be like, I need to raise money and I need to vote. It's a shame. And I don't know, I guess it snapped a bunch of people out of it.
Come on.
Even if you were vocal and whatnot, it's time to actually put your money where your mouth is.
Doing a race.
Time to
Bro, brothers.
Oh, that's
it's time to
bizarre.
just
That's
stop talking
Christopher's
about it.
friend.
And it's been
But we're
time for
not
that.
all about that.
He's from
Like
a
I said,
soccer team.
I'm
He's from
ashamed that
Cleaver
it
soccer
took
team.
me
He has
this
done
long to
no.
actually really
Oh
be about
God,
it.
really?
But
He left good.
So Russ, we all know that this is going to be your first time voting. Tell me what that experience is going to be like.
First time
in terms of
voting?
what you're
Alright.
excited for.
I think what it's gonna do for
What
me.
does it give
It's
me? Does it
gonna
give me
let
XP?
me know that
C rank.
What?
contributing to something bigger
I
than
don't
myself,
care.
and I'm actually
Really? I thought they gave me
putting my money
XP.
where my mouth is
Alright, I'm
being
gonna
about
need
it
it.
because
Can I bounce?
for so long, and I know I'm not alone
Okay.
with this, but
If I wasn't able to bounce,
standing on the outside and just screaming about this and that, and this should change, and this, it's like, all right, but did you vote? And so I know it's gonna feel good to know that I
And that's the problem. I think the mentality of like my vote doesn't matter needs to be changed to my vote, albeit small, does matter. It's a role I'm playing. If I play my part, and you play your part, and you play their part, then we make a difference. But it'll feel. I have a feeling it's gonna feel very, very
But Joey,
big
I'm almost
relief. And
there.
I think when you realize that giving actually feels better than receiving, that's when you start wanting to do your part and contribute. So voting is an easy way to give.
Rolling next.
So how much is different much is required?
Don't get me to do that.
Artists, activists, first time voters. We appreciate you.
Oh, I actually missed the first one.
Oh wait, it's over?
For that guy.
Oh, I'm a D rank.
So cities like Atlanta.
Oh, that guy is over, guys. I didn't see it. I need to go. I was too busy getting my D rank.
Racism as well as police brutality and what we can do in this country. Again, continuing our conversation, letting you know that your voice is your vote and your vote is your voice. We can change where we are in this country currently. I'd like to welcome in Chicago Cubs right fielder Justin Edward. I appreciate you.
I brought in in Chicago because I know you live in the metropolitan area. Atlanta versus Donna.
Let's be technical.
And you have been very vocal throughout this entire time.
Okay, let's see if I can find a skin that looks like this.
Let's look at the past month and a half, if you will. What has been the hardest thing for you to deal with?
The hardest thing for me to deal with here this last month has just been going from the virus shutting everything down to us being called to action. We've had multiple police brutality situations. We've had people protesting, wanting to get the message out.
Oh, let's see. What can I use for this guy? This guy? I don't know.
Okay, I got a C rank.
I don't think Strat is.
Wait, did you get the C rank for this one? The time one?
I don't got the. Maybe I did. This looks nothing like him, but wanna be going grind. I know you guys are thinking that's a dumb choice. Well, it certainly is. Why is it? But I'm grind for now, boys. Because I'm pretty sure he had black on. Alright, show me the screen.
Baseball.
No, he didn't have. He had white on.
Also to show people like
I don't have
any
this
moment in
version.
time, any walk of life, we make a difference.
So tell me in your words, what does activism look like for you?
In my words, it looks like LeBron James, the biggest athlete right now playing out.
That's not LeBron James. You said it's like LeBron James. It's not LeBron, guys. Alright, 34 minutes. I feel like this is a stream, bros. I feel like this is a stream, but it's not a stream.
To me right now, social media right now, athletes getting up and
So, yeah.
like we're trying to do it more than a whole.
You said something I thought was so key, because covering sports for so long.
Look, people probably would only go to this event because to get views,
baseball
but
talk about how they
I
feel.
I still
Adam Jones did it in a very eloquent way early on,
Adam
but there are
Jones.
very few that are vocal. You said you all were afraid. Why use that word? Why were you afraid?
We were afraid because in 2019 there was 68 of us total, and then 38
Oh, wait, is this
teams,
supposed to be
25 men
recording?
lost on each team,
That's
40
good.
men roster, which
He has,
is
like,
on each team as well.
little part of
But
legs
there are many.
Is this one going recorded on cover?
Not always in a negative way when it comes to our teammates and our clubhouse. To get to this point, you have to move a certain way. You got to be careful what you say. You can't disrespect. You can't come off in any way. Much like other black entertainers, much like yourself, probably having to live through life every day. But to get to the highest level, you got to you got to see so baseball, like I said,
This is baseball player. I may need to look like
it shows
football and
okay to
basketball.
do so because you can't be quiet.
Alright, let's just say and watch the event. You guys probably like, come on, I want to see the event.
That is
Here we go.
an expression that a lot of black folks can relate to in whatever aspect of professionalism that they experience, especially if they don't work for themselves. They just feel that. That is also a socialization that we have as black folks, especially, like you said, if you want to get to the higher level. And for so long, I felt it bubbling right underneath the surface that so many of us who were in whatever positions we were, who had platforms, were tired of pretending and looking the other way and spending so much time making others comfortable while we were uncomfortable.
Alright, guys, this is pretty long.
A movement that is
I
sustainable.
don't think I'll be able to
Or is
finish
it
the whole
just
video, like for the
for a
whole
time?
thing.
So it takes everyone joining in on the conversation, and right now I feel like more than ever, there is little things as possible to distract from the bigger issue. We saw on draft day, we saw our president, Bill Epstein, holding up the sign saying Black Lives Matter and wanting to be in that. But now we're having those conversations as well. So I definitely think this is sustainable, and
I
it's
wish
not
you could do
always just
emotes. I
going
want
to
to
be
do my
about
emotes.
this is something that people want to do, right?
Traps and resources.
Jason, you said you think it's sustainable, that what you're seeing, especially with your colleagues in baseball, that this can be something where you're feeling more comfortable, feeling more safe to share how you feel about social injustice and police brutality. What are you doing right now in this moment with your platform to help change how we look at voting and how to educate the culture and the community about voting?
Well, first what I'm doing, Kerry, is joining up with One of the Vote and joining up with other athletes and entertainers to get that message out and use our platform and accents as a group. And trying to create a brand to make it something that's not just about people getting educated for years to come and figure out where to vote, how to vote.
I just want to get these timer things. I'm not going to remember the part ever again. Get these timer things.
Baseball player, it's a
I
black baseball
remember.
player. I feel like now that we talk about it.
Alright, where am I going? Alright. Come on, meteor. Do bits for me here. I swim? I can still swim. Oh, this is pretty cool. It's like a wave. No! It's a wave. It's a rip current. Alright, boys. D rank again? Look at this, guys. It's like all wavy and stuff. You don't have that in regular battle royale. like movies on there and stuff. But alright, let me up here. Can I build? You cannot build right now. Mommy. Alright. This is a very long video, guys, because this is a very long thing that they're doing. Chris, where is Chris? Christopher's in the plaza. Chris, you're supposed to be watching the event you bought. Why are you in the plaza?
I just want to check out these.
Christopher's exploring Party Royale. Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry.
There's these issues right now. I need y'all to stay in line and cast your votes. Keep hanging in there. So to me in Georgia, that's what that looks like.
How do you do that?
Well, it's interesting that you even bring that up because there have been all these images, specifically from Georgia, because that's such a battleground, where you see people, especially when it came to the primaries, doing whatever it takes. And this is real life voter suppression that you're talking about. It's been happening for decades. It's not fake. What you're saying, these examples of sending you your ballot too late after the fact, or shutting down the polls at 6 o'clock while people still are in line, that's a real life issue. There needs to be some type of change. And I think that what we're doing right now is fair. But the idea of voter suppression, do you think that that is well known, especially for folks, you know, within the generation, your generation?
I think it's known in our communities, right? I don't think it's worked on enough. I don't think it's enough light on it. Bring it to life. Let people hear about it. Let people learn about what that looks like. And get more people to say, okay, so this is going to happen. We have to expect this. And we can no longer make the excuse. You know, we can't say that once.
Jason, everybody knows, or it feels as if everyone knows that the time is now. America's paying attention to us. We have their eyes. We have their ears. If you look toward the future, what are you most excited about in terms of seeing a change?
I'm excited about how fast the word is traveling. You know, the word is being spread right now. The biggest athletes, the biggest icons, the biggest entertainers are doing their part. But I'm also seeing people out there on the streets doing their part. You know, when so many things got lost, the very easily got in the commotion when it came to protests and saw rioting, saw looting. People still stood their ground. People still went out there and said, look, we're doing this for the right reasons. We're going to come together. We're going to draw from social medias. I feel like this is a new way of getting things done the right way and just spreading the message.
You're right about that, and you're right. People are spreading the word.
Unapologetically
Out here.
Oh my god. Oh my
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Alright. No, this is the dude I want to see.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I am so excited to
Alright.
meet a friend, a brother,
You guys, this is like
NBA great sports analyst.
NBA great, yeah.
He does it all. His time and his platform is so important.
Wait.
Everybody.
This is the NBA star, Jalen Rose. So if you guys went on to enjoy this video, super long video, deleted people. I didn't finish the all because I didn't want, because it's just too long. See you guys in the next video. Peace. Right, Chris? Peace. See you guys later.